Hey, Coach Chris here, and coming at you with a little quick fix. So, one of my clients let me know that she was having some back pain, and it's kind of been, disrupting her workouts and such. And big part of what we're doing here is about being pain free. Sure, you can get in great shape, you can do hard workouts and be fit, right? But you can also then be in a lot of pain. The fact of the matter is, most of us have imbalances of some sort in our body, and we all have some underlying issues in our tissues. It's just we may not know it in the moment. And so there's a lot of different things we can do to kind of get on top of things before they truly become a problem. The thing is, pain is a lagging indicator. That just means that, again, you can have underlying issues, you just don't know it, but then you start exercising, doing yoga, whatever, and the next thing you know, you're like, oh, I hurt my shoulder doing this workout. Well, no, you had stuff going on your shoulder, you just didn't know it. But when you know what's going on or that there's an issue, then we can address it. So her thing was specifically low back discomfort in this quadrant right here. And so there's a couple things that you can do to kind of narrow it down and address it. And if this is the solution, then fantastic. And if not, the thing is, here's my advice. If you work on this for about 2 weeks and either it doesn't improve, or if it gets worse, or if it gets worse sooner, then certainly consult your healthcare professional. So for this one, guys, all you're gonna need is a handy dandy trusty foam roller. These come in a multitude of sizes and shapes. This is just a general all-around basic one. And if you could get a hold of one of these bad boys, all the better. This is actually a indoor practice softball. It works great. You can actually buy these online, but they sell these as a specific myofascial release tool, and they're like $50, whereas this thing was like maybe $5. Anyway, this is the two things that you're gonna need. It's always a good idea if you kind of loosen up, stretch, and warm up before you do any kind of myofascial release, foam rolling, and that sort of thing. But I'm gonna walk you through some very basic things, give you some basic instruction, and you'll know if this is kind of the culprit because it's gonna hurt, right? There's some pain involved sometimes. And a little discomfort is okay, right? We have to kind of dig on things in order to basically get, the benefits we're after, but you definitely don't want to have any kind of numbness, any kind of shooting pain, or anything that's so extreme that you have to hold your breath, okay? So with that, maybe a little shot of tequila will do the trick. Just kidding. So what we're gonna do, guys, again, maybe loosen up, move around a little bit, get some heat going, and then we're gonna use the foam roller first, all right? This thing, it's big surface area, so it's gonna hit big surface area of your body, and it's gonna be a little less uncomfortable. So now bring some blood flow to the area and start to loosen up some of the tissues. What we're after here is we typically have adhesions, which are tissues that are kind of meshed together rather than gliding, sliding surfaces. They get stuck together, or adhesions and scar tissue. And so this is gonna help to loosen that stuff up and ultimately get us pain free. So the first thing I want you to do is just have a seat on your foam roller. All right, we just want to do a little bit on the hips. All this stuff is associated. Hips, low back, all this is associated, as well as around front. And so we want to make sure we take just a few moments and loosen it up. So I'm just going to kind of lean off to the side, and I'm going to foam roll from my waistband right down to my sit bone. I want to make sure I get on the outside of this a little bit as well. Then we're going to go back to the center. If you want to amp this up a notch, all you got to do, I have my left leg on here, so I'm going to cross my left leg over my right. That exposes the hip a little more, and it's going to allow you to get into those tissues a little deeper, really access those a little more, okay? So don't spend a lot of time here, just a few passes, maybe like 30 seconds or so. You're gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. Then we're gonna focus on our mid to lower back with the foam roller. So for this one, I just start off here, right? You can modify this depending on your core strength, but I'm just gonna lean back, right? I've got this in my low back, and I'm just gonna lift my butt off the floor enough that I can roll this to the bottom edges of my shoulder blades. If you wanna go further, very cool, but for this, I just need to go from my waistband to the bottom edge, right, of my shoulder blades. And again, just making a few passes from the waistband of my pants, low back area, up to my shoulder blades. All right, again, that's gonna be something you wanna do probably for about a minute on that. If you're in discomfort on that, maybe spend a little more time, but don't spend a lot of time in one spot. Make sure you're moving for right now, just constant movement. Okay, once we kind of clear that and loosen that up a little bit, again, I'm gonna kind of lean back, and it's my lumbar spine. Here's where it gets a little interesting. I'm going to let my legs kind of roll to the left and back. I do all of them on one side first, then I do the other side. But if you want to go side to side, that's cool, right? And what I'm going to do then is kind of use my elbow to prop me up. And the idea is I'm getting this foam roller in that space between the top edge of my pelvis and my lowest rib, right? And then I'm going to start to kind of work that up and down a little bit as well, just kind of clearing that area. Maybe go up into a few ribs, maybe up in towards the base of your shoulder blade. If you're still feeling pain, just keep going with it. But for now, I'm just going to move through it. Again, without pausing or hanging out, camping there for very long. So, again, if I were to go to the other side, same thing. I can prop on my elbows, but I just let my legs both fall to the side, kind of keep my chest open. So I'm doing a little lumbar twisting action. That's getting into some of this low back musculature and starts to get into what's called your the QL, all right, quadratus lumborum if you're getting fancy. But again, then I'm just going to kind of rock up and down and take some passes side to side. You got to go in different directions and angles in order to find what's going on down here. All right, so again, just kind of digging in. Oh, I found a spot. Oh, that's intense. That's wicked. So take some deep breaths, all right? And then just kind of slowly maneuver. I'm moving up and down a little bit. I'm moving towards, as I'm gonna lie flat on my back. I'm gonna go back the other direction. I'm just kind of ferreting around and, okay, I found that ugly, ugly spot. Take several deep breaths. Ease off, dig in. There's no real right or wrong way to do this stuff, okay? It's just listen to your body. Don't stay in one spot for long, long periods of time. You're gonna loosen it up, warm it up. Then you start to go slower, ferret around, dig around, probe, explore. Find those hot spots. Take a few moments to camp out there, but not long, and then just keep moving, all right? So that's the first thing I want you to focus on is, again, quick review. Up onto the roller. Clear out, a little loosening up, blood flow to the hips, okay? From there, we're gonna do both sides, right? Then you're gonna bring it down in your lumbar waistband area, butt comes off the ground, right? Roll from waistband to shoulder blades several times. You might notice some discomfort here if you haven't really done this before. All right, once you get a minute or so on that, then we're gonna bring it into that waistband area, and I'm gonna lean back, right? And again, just let my legs fall to the side, back to the center, side, back to the center. Then a little further out, maybe I let my body turn, I'm supporting my elbow. Then I can start to maneuver up and down and going from lying directly on my side, all right? And then start working towards lying flat on my back. Again, spend on this about 2 to 3 minutes on that side, then take it over the other side and spend about 2 to 3 minutes there. Now, a couple things you can do a little more advanced. If that's intense, just do that. But what we gotta do is keep working it once it isn't painful over the course of a week or two. We gotta dig a little deeper because otherwise, again, pain is a lagging indicator. If you're in pain here and you diminish that a little bit, you still have issues. So you wanna make sure you continue to clear it. The next level that we could work on, and sometimes I have people do this with their legs up the wall, right? But you're just gonna bring that into your low back, finding that spot in your low back. I've got my legs bent or straight. You can do it with your feet up the wall, arms out, and I'm just gonna let my legs fall to the side. Again, just doing about 5 or so of those. If I find a spot, I can hang out there and maneuver a little bit and just smash that out. But again, just kind of going to the side and back again, all right? Again, that one, maybe a minute, and then you're gonna hit the same thing on the other side. Okay, last thing. I don't want to give you too many things here, right? I usually like to give 2, maybe 3 different techniques to work on because any more than that, it takes a lot of time. You're probably not going to do it. So let's just start with the basics, and then we can go from there. A lot of folks, this is going to do the job, right? Others, when you're ready for it, you're going to get something like this. A lot smaller surface area, a lot more like a strategic surgical strike, if you will. So with that one, I'm just going to place on my lower back. Again, prop on my left elbow in this case, and just kind of start to dig around. I'm moving again from my waistband up to the base of my ribs, get into the side, and this is where it can get a little ugly, is if I go all the way on my side, right? And again, that space between the top of your pelvis, your waistband area, and your bottom ribs. And on this one, I can really get on my side. And big thing here, try to relax your abs because we want that ball, essentially, this ball is going right into your side here. And if you're bracing and holding your tension in your abs, it doesn't let the ball sink in. So we gotta let that sink in, try to relax and dig around. Now more advanced, if you wanna come around to the front and clear that up, that's another culprit. We can talk about it another time. But what I want you to do is start first with using the foam roller on the glutes, the low back, up to the shoulder blades, then clear out the side, clear out the other side. If you have access to something like this, and if you don't know where to find something like this, just let me know, I'll hook you up. And yeah, so this is gonna do the trick. This is a lot more, again, surgical strike, if you will, really more pinpoint accuracy. And once you get to the level where you saw me rolling around on this, I'm not like making the pain face and not gasping for air, then you know you're probably in a place where you're not gonna have any issues going forward. Last bit of information or advice here is, once you work this out and you become you get pain-free, right? Again, give it a week or two. If it gets worse, consult your physician. If it doesn't get better after a couple of weeks, see another professional. And the thing is, once you get pain-free, don't stop. That's a big problem a lot of folks have. You know, I give them these tools and techniques, they implement them, they get pain-free, and they stop. Well, again, pain is a lagging indicator. Here's the pain point. We get below that, we think we're all good, so screw it, I'm done with the ball. And the next thing you know, 6 months later, you're in pain again. So you gotta clear that out and then do maintenance. So that's my, my advice for today. Again, we're dealing with primarily low back and most likely we'll call QL or potentially psoas pain. And so that's what we're gonna work on with this technique. So keeping it pretty short here. If you have questions, just hit me up and let me know. Sound good? All right, here's to being pain-free.